Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Yeah, so today the biggest question you're asking is, does France owe Haiti anything? Any reparations? Because you guys, for those of you who know the history between France and Haiti, France was the one who colonized Haiti before Haiti eventually gained its independence.
Yeah,
and right now, some human rights organizations are holding France accountable to what happened in Haiti, and they want them to pay Haiti, you know. So, but before we say anything further, let's just watch this video and then we come back and talk about it.
Our next story is about Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, a base for dozens of armed gangs who even forced their prime minister to resign. Haiti always seems to be in a state of chaos. It's been that way since it became independent, back in 1804. But maybe that's not the country's fault completely. A group of NGOs has gathered in Geneva. They're trying to form an independent commission to help undo a historic justice. They want France to pay a ransom that it took from Haiti back in the 1800s. The price it extracted for Haiti's freedom. How much money does the coalition want France to pay? Anywhere between $150 to $200 billion. Here's our report.
Have you heard of the term war reparations? It's a specific type of payment given by a losing country to the winner of a war. This has always taken place in history. Germany paid this to the victorious Allies after World War II and after World War I as well. France paid this to Britain after Napoleon was defeated. War reparations are a way for the losing side to pay for the lives lost. This is how it has always been, the business side of war. But what if the roles were reversed? If the winner of a war had to pay the loser, even if the war was justified, if it was the morally right thing to do? We don't have to imagine that scenario. It's what happened to Haiti, and the country has been suffering for 200 years because of this. Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. It's a country in the Caribbean Sea. It occupies half of an island, Hispaniola. The other half is a different country, the Dominican Republic, where the people are, on average, 10 times richer than the Haitians. What led to this stark disparity? Simply put, France. Haiti was once a French colony, called Saint-Domingue. France filled it with sugar and coffee plantations, and slaves to work on them. By the year 1789, 90% of the people in Saint-Domingue were slaves, subjected to barbaric cruelty by the French colonizers. So the slaves rose up to break their shackles. They finally won their freedom from the French in 1804, after fighting for over a decade. The people even defeated Napoleon's armada, making a place for themselves in history. But the joy was short-lived. Napoleon was beaten in Europe as well. The French monarchy was restored, and they wanted their colony back. France sent another armada in 1825. 500 cannons were pointed at the now free nation of Haiti, and the French made them an offer at gunship point. Pay 150 million francs for your freedom, or we'll enslave and kill you again. Let's look at a contemporary comparison, the Louisiana Purchase. The US actually purchased much of the present-day South and Midwest from France, back in the year 1804. More than 2 million square kilometers of land, about 77 times the size of Haiti. How much did the US pay France? 80 million francs, or $15 million. 21 years later, France forced Haiti to pay almost double this amount, 150 million francs. Now obviously, Haiti did not have that kind of money, so France made it borrow the money from French bankers. There were banker fees and interest, which meant Haiti was paying off the ransom for 122 years. The final payment was made in 1947. That is when Haiti was free of the French debt. So how much do you think the total debt was worth? Well, that is a question that will be debated by a United Nations group, the UN Permanent Forum on People of African Descent. 20 NGOs have come together. They're asking the forum for justice. They want France to return what it took from Haiti. When you add interest, it may be between $150 to $200 billion. France will deny this, of course. They have only ever acknowledged a moral debt that they owe Haiti, never actual compensation. Haiti is the poorest of its neighbors, brimming with gang violence. and a history of impoverishment. The French robbery played a huge part in this mess, and this time, Paris should be the one paying.
So guys, after watching this video, do you guys believe that French people owe Haitians reparations? Because I personally would support that move, you know, but right now with what's happening with French losing its influence in its previous colonies, do you really think they'll be able to afford that kind of amount? I think if they would pay Haitians that kind of money, they'd go broke. They'd go broke, you know. Yeah, well, I don't know, but one thing I'll definitely say is things are not looking good for France right now, because even in Africa, they're being kicked out. You know, people like Ibrahim Traore of the West Africa, they're kicking them out of there. And where does France get its influence, power, and wealth? It's from exploiting other countries. Right. And right now they're running. What it seems like is that they're running out of countries to exploit. They're running out of countries to exploit, you know. And I'm really interested in seeing what France will look like 10, 15, 20 years from now, you know, because like right now with what's been happening with their colonies or previous colonies, it makes me wonder just what amount of influence does France have right now, because I'm sure it's not as it used to have. And you know, all these things that are happening to France, to be quite honest, it's embarrassing for them, you know. It's embarrassing for them. Imagine just going to sit in a table where G7 or NATO is at, and your country is beginning to look like a poor leper, you know. Nobody will want to sit near that stink, you know, because they'll be, what is it called? They'll be afraid that if they sit too close to you, they'll start stinking themselves. So I don't know. In future, I see France being segregated by its friends, its very powerful friends, unless it will look for a way to regain the kind of power it once had, you know. And if you're talking about war reparations, I really pray that Haiti gets to get its right and they get to be paid that money, because I feel like it's a country that really needs that kind of money right now. It would be a huge boost. Not all the way, but it will be somewhere to start. And I hope they elect a leader who won't squander that money, because at the end of the day, that money might be little, but it is not too little to start up their country, you know. They just elect good leaders, and should they be paid that money, they gear it towards developing Haiti and controlling the criminal activities in Haiti. Because I find it quite unfair. France paid Britain when they lost the war between them and Britain. America paid France to acquire the Louisiana land. Yet when it comes time for France to pay Haitians, they say they only recognize the moral obligation to be sorry, but they don't want to pay. Yet Haitians won the war. The fact that they can even acknowledge that there's a moral, you know, whatever they have to apologize for, means that they know that they wronged Haitians. They do. And that was a lot of money to make people pay for their independence, which they had already gained either ways. And then they just had to do what they do best and come back again and threaten them. Yeah, it was point blank stealing, because the Haitians won the war fair and square, you know. And one of the biggest reasons I feel like France won't or doesn't want to pay this money to the Haitians is because Haitians are black people, you know. And then because they're not all black people, there's majority white people there. And then if they pay Haiti, then I feel like other countries will also start demanding for the same, especially here in Africa. And I feel like that is the kind of ripple effect France is trying to avoid. Yeah, that's the kind of ripple effect France wants to avoid, because I know the minute they pay Haitians, look at Congo, for example. Oh my God, Congo is in such a bad state. Congo is in a bad state, you know. So if we are talking about war reparations, I feel like the first world countries have a lot to do before they can even make right with anybody. And in America, when you look at the situation where reparations right now, they're trying to champion for reparations for black people, black Americans. And you know what I find even more funny is the Holocaust. What happened to the Jews? I think they were paid reparations, right? And yet slavery and black history was the worst. It was I believe it was worse than, well, even Holocaust was bad, but why is the black history being forgotten?
It's not being forgotten, just deliberately ignored.
Yeah, it's deliberately ignored. And I wonder, or is it just the same case again? If they pay black people in America, they'll be forced to pay their colonies back in Africa and wherever else.
India, the other places they colonized.
And that's why they don't have a problem with paying people who look white like the Jews for the Holocaust incident. Yet they see a big problem, both America and France, they see a big problem paying black people reparations because they'd also be forced to make good with the whole entire Africa. And that will be an expensive affair to them. It will even render them bankrupt.
But anyway, that is all they know how to do. France just needs to be accountable, because at the end of the day, nothing wipes what they did to Haiti.
But the 200 billion will be a good start. And you guys, just tell us what you think about this situation. Do you support that Haitians should be paid the 200 billion, or do you think France is right in its stance that it only owes them a moral obligation but not a financial one?
And guys, people from the Caribbean, if you're watching this, let us know what you think about all this, what you think about the country of Haiti. We'd really like to know your opinion on this matter.
Yeah, because all said and done, I think this is the beginning of what the future looks like. Even if France doesn't pay reparations to Haitians, one thing I know for sure, it won't happen today. Most definitely, these first-class countries, world power countries, America, France, and their buddies, they won't fall right now, but they're eventually going to fall in the hands of someone. Will it be Russia? Will it be China? We still don't know, but their days are definitely numbered, if you would ask me.
And if we talk about reparations, I really don't see this happening, because just because even here in Africa, whoever colonized in East Africa, there was a very great influence of the British colonizers and Africans. You remember when King Charles was coming to visit Kenya,
right?
And Kenyans were like, he needs to apologize. But Kenyans, you ask for too little. You ask for too little, but it's a beginning, it's a start, right? Kenyans were like, he needs to apologize. If he's coming, he needs to apologize first, which he did. But another thing I'm asking myself is an apology really enough for everything they did here in Africa, the wealth they plundered,
they continue to do? Because much as right now we are governing ourselves, their influence is still greatly felt here. How their policies affect us. Places are still named after them. We have like Victoria. We have a lot of places that are still named after the royal family, the queen. Yeah, until myself, I ask myself, is this like a traumatic attachment to them? To your abuser? I really don't know. But anyway, you guys, tell us what you think about this episode.
And I remember when the queen passed away, it's not always a good, you don't always have positive emotions when, you're going through grief or when someone passes away. But I remember in Africa, there were a lot of people sympathize, but a lot of people were like, my life will stop because of that.
She's been deleted. Yeah, a lot of people were like, she's been deleted. How does that concern us? Good for us. Let her stop occupying space. Like, what was she helping us with other than the fact that she colonized?
Why should we grieve for someone who massacred a lot of families here in Africa
for their own personal gains? Yeah, but anyway, you guys, let us know what you think about this episode, and if it is your first time landing on our channel, please consider subscribing to our channel, and we'll see you on our next episode.